get out of here. They're on to us. They're trying to help us. So I usually just, because I don't want, well, someone tried to backseat game me on yesterday for Dead Space, so I had to wait a little bit. I'm trying not to get backseat gamed on, you know, because I don't know how those games are and I don't want to get spoiled. So I'm trying to play Outlast right now because so far I don't know anything about it, and I'm trying to play it on sub only mode so that I don't get spoiled alerts. I'm trying to test it out. What's the best way for me to not get information I don't need in the game? They're on to us.
Your probes are under attack. Your probes are under attack.
To the Daylong. The firstborn shall persevere.
Oh wait, I didn't do it in time.
Glory to the
Oh, barely.
Let your will be heard.
Research complete.
The Templar mark. Shall be. I have met the enemy.
You require.
Oh shit, it's a medic. No GG. No GG. Not at all. You know GG? I always well play. I don't GG, I well played.
Let your will be heard.
Yeah. Usually I think that telling somebody GG is more of a neutral game where you accept the loss, but you don't really give the player the credit. Whereas when you say well played, you're telling the player well played, well, good game, you did well. So you're giving them the credit. So I like to say well played to a person, not GG. GG is just like, oh, I lost. Okay. You know. I think saying well played is that extra step. So yeah. So you gotta make a pylon. Go to their side. Mess with the SCV. Act like nothing's weird. Run around on patrol. This SCV went over here, but it got scouted. Dum, da, dum, da, dum, dum. So the SCV stopped following because the Marine was coming, but that's the time I make a Nexus anyway. You use all the energy for chrono boost. The cybernetics core. So you chrono boost the cybernetics core for warp gate. Use every bit of that energy. But you always make some battery shields before you make more gateways on that side. So before you can make two more gateways, you have to make some battery shields so that they can either be right here right away, or sometimes I should have got it a little closer, but I think I just barely got enough to heal it. But you usually get it enough close to heal it at worst case scenario, like in this case. No, the counter to this is just send all your SCVs over and deny the Nexus from happening. So the main goal is to deny the Nexus from ever going up. That's the best way to do it. Just don't let it go up. If you let it go up, assuming you know what you're doing, that's only half the battle, because you don't. It's still like, what? Like, because nobody. This is my build, so nobody really has to experience this until they face me. Now here I was healing up at the very last minute. So you can see right here it was almost dead, and then this battery shield healed it so that it could stay alive a little longer. Yeah, very close. But sometimes when you have the Nexus, sometimes your energy is not exactly at recall, because recall is what, 50, and sometimes in this case you get a little bit more than 50 when they're attacking you. So what you could do at worst case scenario when this happens is, like, the battery shields are up, right? And you have 61 energy. 61. So that's what, 11 more energy if you use the overcharge. So what you could do is you use the overcharge, the power overcharge, the battery overcharge on this one, and it will heal this Nexus all the way back up. All the blue will go right back up. And it takes forever. It takes a while for that to go right back down again because they don't have as many units. So what happens is when you do that, sometimes you still have enough time to get the recall in. It just becomes a little bit later, but it's for the sake of saving the Nexus. So that's what you gotta also worry about. It's just, oh, if it's almost dead, I could sacrifice some time, battery overcharge my Nexus. It's gonna allow it to go right back up, and then during that time, I'm getting closer to another 50 energy, and then I'll attack. So remember, you could do that. If you don't know that you could do that, then you lose a Nexus, and you're like, damn. Now there's still a follow-up though. If they do take out the Nexus, if they cancel it before it even goes up, what you do here is you go for a Stargate play. Now I should have went for a second gas, but I don't do this build so often that I keep forgetting. But you get a second gas, and the second gas is going to allow you to make the Stargate and go into a void raid play. So you can go for a Nexus. They try to put everything they can on you to deny it. They lose mining time and such, and then they also think that they took out the threat. And then over here, instead of these battery shields, you end up using the pylon for a Stargate, and then you get the battery shields later. And then the Stargate void raid becomes a throw off. They don't expect it because they just went through this and they didn't expect a follow up behind that. Yeah. Lucky for the rest of us, we don't have to experience it. Yeah, well, some people like it, some people don't, for sure. But yeah, definitely it depends on the person. Some people like torture. So then, oh man, but yeah. Now the probe, you always make a probe from the Nexus. You make a probe so you can start making a pylon in the high ground. Yeah, I think cheese is just another way to play something in a different way. It's like playing the same game but with a different taste. So you're like, ooh, this game's interesting. It makes things interesting because I never played this kind of like style. I never faced this style, so it made me do something out of the normal, and it became a weird game. So yeah, it definitely feels like a co-op mission or something. It's like, you know. My games tend to be feeling like a campaign mission. It's like, oh, kill this person on the other side. It's like, what he's using all kinds of weird shit. How do I stop this? You know, and then in a campaign mission, you kind of learn how you win. You're like, okay, I need to do this or I need to do that. I need to do this. But in the game firsthand, you're like, oh shit, all the things that you're choosing, some of them are good, some are bad. But it's the adventure that you get that you're like, oh, that was weird. That was different. Yeah, it helps you grow. So these adepts are never to go in the back yet because they're just kind of like force the Marines out on this side. If you can kind of keep them over here instead of here, you know, throws them off. See how they're like pulling SCVs to try to take him out? Like they're trying to like just, oh, okay, if he's gonna get there, I'll just kill him and then I'll be good. So then you always blink away. It's like, oop, nope, psych. You know, what I'm doing is stalling time. I got the sentry so I can force field the bunker, but they got there just in time. I think I need a force field right on top of it instead of like on the side of it. I think they're wide enough to do a better job on that. Force fielding the bunker. So the force fielding the bunker is so that you can try to take it out. They're gonna repair it like they did right here. So they're so close to the area that all they need to do is just grab some and go straight over here and repair. And if they repair it, you're not gonna break it. You're not gonna break the bunker if they're repairing it. They're just, you'd have to kill the SCVs, which take forever, which means it's not gonna work. So you have to use force fields. Force fields will keep the SCVs from getting on that area. But if I learned, I gotta test the force field. If one force field will block everything. If not, I just do 2 force fields next time instead of 1. But my goal was make the force field block this area, and that way it'll keep them from repairing. Yeah, because or else I can't break them. I can't break in if I can't get through that part. So I set up, and I'm getting ready to force field this area. So you see how the SCVs are coming? I force field blocked them, but they were able to kind of like get in between and get to the sides. And when they got to the sides, you can't stop them now. So this is a one shot to try to blow it up. And then right when they got there, now they're repairing. Just pull back because you're not going to break it. But I did get it when he thought it was all over. When he thought I pulled back and the SCVs went back to mining, he messed up. He forgot to repair it again, and I went after it. So that was my, that was successful on my part because of the back and forth that he kind of put himself right here. I need to mine. Started mining. Oh shoot, I forgot about the bunker. It all happened so fast. Why didn't I make a tank? Every person is different. Sometimes you face a tank with less units. Sometimes you face marauders and some marines. I think because he wanted to go for like a marauder play. It's always, this particular build started with marauders. So marauder play, concussive shell, stim, and tanks. But I think the tanks come a little later, or maybe it's medevacs, marauder, marine, and no tanks. So it all depends on their build order. So I don't think this particular person wanted tanks in the first place, or underestimated the build and thought we don't need no tanks. We got what we need. We got 2 bunkers, and I already have marauders, whatever it was, because they don't expect to have a warp in either. They don't expect battery shields to be here, and then another battery shield set right here, and then more Stargate, more warp gate. They don't expect that, because they don't expect that. They're not gonna like think how how dangerous is this situation. And in this particular case, what is it? Hellions, maybe Hellbats, that would come out. Widow mines, with the reactor. Yeah, they always try to send the SCVs. You gotta pull back, focus on the Marines. I always want to focus on the Marines when the SCVs are after you. That way, because the AI is just gonna target the SCVs, and the Marines will be able to get some shots off you. So, focus fire, if you could. If not, stutter step backwards. Well, there goes the tank. A little bit late. Okay, I got you. So the tank was to make a reactor. So he decided to make a reactor with a tank so that he could float it off and get the medevacs. So he wanted the medevacs. That's what he wanted. And then he was going to get the tanks afterwards. So this is his build right here. This is his build setup. It's just got derailed by this right here. So he did everything he was going to do just a lot later, because of the shenanigans that happened. But that's the case. He was going for a reactor swap with the starport so we can get double medevacs. He was going to go for a marine, marauder, and then a few tank attack. So this is a timing attack. And he was going to do it on 2 bases, a 2-base timing attack. But yeah, it was tanks are in the late part of it because of the gas. Because he's spending so much right here on gas. The tank is really vulnerable in the early game. if anything happens, something weird happens, the tank is vulnerable. But the Marines and the Marauders are not as vulnerable. So because of that, and the gas is not really needed severely on them, he decides to go for the tech, the tech upgrades, and get the production, and then go for the heavy gas afterwards, which is going to be coming out of the Starport, and the factory. So these two are the buildings that are going to be taking all the gas. These three, just this one Marauders, this one's Marines. So that's where the Terran was going, using minerals early to get a fast expansion and get all the things that really don't need gas, while waiting for the gas to go up, so that by the time you get the production, you can start going and spending that gas. So a way to kind of manage your time and your money as best as you could. So I think that's why this particular Terran, their build is like this. And some people don't change their build. They do their build all the way through, and whether good or bad, they don't want to change things. So in this player, he did everything he always does. Everything seems like it's for a purpose, for a two-base timing attack. So that's why the tank wasn't there. Can they change and get a tank? I'm sure you will next time. I'm sure next time he's going to respect it a little more. Maybe even send the SCVs to go take it out. So you never know. GG.